One of them is over 50,000 US dollars.
Hey folks, you're most welcome to the channel, and once again we have an amazing guest over here who is going to share with us that how you can start your online journey, how can you become a freelancer, or you are starting as an entrepreneur. What are the things that you need to do in order to keep moving ahead in this entrepreneurship journey? So dear guest, you are most welcome on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Abhidandan, for having me over. Excited to do this video podcast.
Right, perfect. So the people who have no idea who our guest is, his name is Gaurav Gurbaxani, and please correct me if the name is pronounced well, right?
Perfect.
Okay,
All good, yeah.
and he is the founder of digitalmarket.com. So, Gaurav, can you please let our audience know a little of your intro?
Sure, absolutely. Again, thanks for having me here. My name is Gaurav Gurbaxani. And what I think is important that you know right away about me is that I've been doing freelancing now for about 18 years. I started off as a freelancer, and I still am a freelancer. I'm still doing a lot of freelance work today. And I foresee myself, at least for the next decade or two, still kind of doing freelancing, still kind of being involved in online gigs, because I think that's really the future of work.
Right. That's absolutely true. That's what you're saying, right? And so far you have been in this industry for the last 18 years. That's what you mentioned, right? So what do you think nowadays it has become a boom in India as well, like now I would say globally, that people are starting their entrepreneurship and freelancing. So what do you think, what is the first thing one should do in order to start their freelancing journey or being an entrepreneur?
I think the first step in even thinking about becoming a freelancer, if you currently have a job, or maybe you haven't even got a job. So depending on where you are, I would say the first thing is to become your own customer. Like, what service are you trying to provide? What freelancer do you want to become? Do you want to become a website freelancer? Do you want to become a video freelancer? Do you want to do Google ads? Do you want to do Facebook ads? There's so many different things that you can do as a freelancer. Now, say you want to become a web developer as a freelancer, then you become your own first customer, register your domain, get your hosting, set up an awesome website. Set up a website that you can show your friend saying that, do I set this up? Do you like it? So be your first customer, because you cannot be selling something that you're not currently using, right? And this could be anything. It could be Google My Business, it could be podcasts, anything that you do or anything that you want to offer. I would say the golden rule is to do it for yourself. Treat yourself exactly as your first customer. It'll help you build confidence, it'll help you showcase. So I would say that's like the first thing. No matter what you plan to offer, go through the journey, go through the grind, find out like what are all the pain points, where you needed help, where you got stuck, how much time does it take to do, what's the end result, like after you did it, did you see success? Did you get like an inquiry? Did you make a sale? Do you see the value in it? Because the minute you are able to see value in your own service, that's when like you don't need to worry about convincing others. They'll already be convinced because they can see the proof. So the more proof you can build as a freelancer, whether it's a course that you've done, whether it's an exam that you've passed, whether it's a real world case study, a website, a listing, a sale, start with that and then start scaling your business.
Right. That's something interesting, right? So coming to the point over here, I see that there are a lot of people. I would say they are entrepreneurs. They are struggling for the last couple of, I would say, years, and they are still not making any move. They are putting in the effort that, but they are failing. So what do you think? What is the mistake that they are committing?
So it could be just a couple of things. One is there's not a big enough market for your product. Today, like as a digital freelancer, I know that is not true. There is Everyone needs a website, everyone needs SEO, everyone needs videos, everyone needs that. So that's like one issue. But if you are in the digital space, whichever space you are, the demand is never the problem. There are like thousands, there are millions of people right now looking for services and they can't find people. The second problem is maybe your pricing is not correct. By pricing, what I mean is what is the scope of work? Like a very common problem I see a lot of newbie freelancers is the minute they get a project with really good intent, they want to serve their customers well, but they don't have a start and stop date and they don't have a start and stop scope, which means that now once I'm your customer, then they want to give everything: video, website, social media, Google Ads, WordPress, whatever it is. So that way, even though the intent is good, the customer is never going to be able to see your value. Or if they see your value, they're not going to be paying you enough because they're seeing you as a generalist. Ideally, you want to be able to provide packages saying that if you want Google Ads, it's going to cost you this much. If you want a website, it's going to cost you this much. This is a package. If you want more pages, it's going to cost you X amount. So having a clear price and having a clear project scope, if you can figure that, then it's a lot easier to scale your business. Otherwise, you'll just have the same customers, same requirements, 5 people, 10 people. You'll never be able to have 1,000 people. You'll never be able to have 10,000 people. So to summarize, point number 2 is have your standard operating procedures. What is it that you offer? How long does it take? How are you going to do the job? How happy is the customer going to be? So have your SOPs in place, right? So number 1 is you're struggling because you don't have the right niche. So you're just not finding enough customers. That's your demand, right? Number 1 is your
Right.
demand. Uh, Number 2 would be you should have your processes in place.
Right.
And the
Mm-hmm.
last one is what is your method? Like, what is your strategy to attract more of your favorite customers? Like, where are you getting them from? Are you getting them from Google? Are you getting them from word of mouth? Are you getting them from a forum, joint venture, Elance, Upwork, whatever the platform is? You need to have at least 2 different sources.
Okay.
Minimum two. Minimum two. You cannot be like, I'm going to depend on word of mouth, or I'm only going to depend on Google, or I'm only going to depend on this. You cannot do that. That's not a business. So have 2 sources of traffic where you can potentially scale, where you see that, okay, I can build 100 websites, or I can get 200 customers, or I can sell 500 websites. So look at that scale. Look at that even before you begin. Is that are there so many people buying the service? So with these 3, get the right niche. Like who is it that you're trying to serve? And make sure that there are enough of them. The second would be to get your products, your pricing, your scope of work, your project management in place. And the third is just focus on getting more traffic. Have 2 strategies to get more traffic, and you should be able to build a pretty solid freelancing business.
Right. So, as you mentioned over here, right, the third point, getting traffic. So, traffic, it's something like I really would like to hear it from you that how was your journey when you started in the starting? Like right now, you are like at the top place. I could say that you are there somebody who can be called as a expert, right? So, what was your point of view when you were just getting started?
It's interesting that you asked this question because most of the times when I'm talking to freelancers, they always be like, "Arey, but boss, you've been doing it for long. You already have a brand, you already have your reputation and all that stuff. So it's going to be easy for you and it's going to be difficult for me." So I try to explain. a lot of times that, like even I started out, I had zero reviews. Today I have 100. Today I've got 200 reviews. But when I started, I had zero. Everyone will start pretty much at zero. But that doesn't matter. That truly doesn't matter. And I did an experiment just last week. Just last week, I did an experiment. I said I will start with a brand new name. I'll start with zero credits, with zero reviews, and let's see if I can generate business as a complete newbie. And I was able to get in just 3 days two amazing potential freelance projects. And by potential amazing freelance projects, one of them is over 50,000 US dollars. This is on Upwork. Brand new brand new profile, new name. If you Google me, it doesn't exist. So there's no difference between you and me, I can tell you for sure. 100%. Starting off fresh, no problem. You just need to be able to stand out. You need to be able to stand out. How do you get people's attention? How do you stand out from the entire crowd? Because there are so many people. There are 50 people, there are 60 people. But what can you do to build that authority? What can you do to build that credibility? What can you do to build that likability? These are all learnable skills. They're all learnable skills. So while the competition is higher, the opportunity is 100 times bigger. It's 1,000 times bigger. You know, most people think just because they are in this space, there are a lot of people like them.
Right, right.
But
So,
that's because we are the same. Yeah. But there are much fewer digital marketers or there are much fewer freelancers than business owners that need your skill. And especially after the pandemic, work from home. Like I live in Goa, I work from home. My wife works from home. We work from anywhere. We can choose any part, any country, anything that we like, right?
mhm,
So the opportunity is absolutely huge right now, for
right,
freelancing.
right. So far you mentioned, you started Refresh, you got the big project of $50,000, right? Now, here comes a point. You started as a fresher, you started from scratch, you got that deal. The other person who is starting out, struggling a lot for the couple of months, I would say, and years as well. Now, what is a secret sauce? Is there any secret sauce?
So I would say one, yes, there is a secret sauce. And I would say that secret sauce is really artificial intelligence. It is Chat GPT. And you can create like the most amazing proposals. You can automate so much of your outreach that there really is no excuse to not doing the work.
Okay,
You got all the answers available. So I would say that is the secret sauce. The other secret sauce, which is not really the secret, is you have to put in the effort. Like you might
right,
have all the knowledge, you might have the shortcuts, but if you still don't do the work, if you still don't send out video messages, if you don't do your social media, if you don't network with people, if you're not actively building your reviews, if you're not doing podcasts, then it will fizzle out, right? So to get
right,
started is easy, but then it's the continuation of doing the job, doing the work to kind of
right,
get started. So that's at
right.
least, that's at least my secret for now.
Nice. So I was in a conversation with I would say an audience. I was just chatting over there. So I told that I have an amazing guest coming up. Would you like to ask any of the questions regarding freelancing? So what the audience, one of that audience asked me the question that was like, what do you think? What are the skills I need to master? Because a lot of people say that master one skill, then other people say that you have to master, there are a set of skills that you need to master. So what is a myth about mastering one skill and multiple skill?
So there's a saying, you might have, let me know if you've heard of it. It's called Jack of all trades, master of none.
Right,
Have
I
you heard
have
this before?
a, yeah, I have.
Now, most people say that they've heard it. Most people say that they've understood it. But did you know that it's not the complete saying? It's Jack of all trades,
Mhm.
master of none, still better than a master of none, right?
Okay.
Which my understanding is that it's good to have multiple skill sets as a freelancer, especially when you are beginning. People say that find your niche. I'm sure you must have heard this before. Find your niche, find
Right,
your niche.
right.
I say let your niche find you. How can you find your niche? You have to do 20 projects, 30 projects, 50 projects, 100 projects to find your niche. After you've done 100 projects, then people will find you because they know you of the work that you've done, right?
Right.
So initially, like at least my strategy was pick up any work that you get. Like my
Yeah.
dad introduced me to his friend. His friend said he needed a website. I'm like, yeah, I build websites. Finished his website. He's like, I need to rank on Google. I was like, yeah, I do SEO.
Right.
He's like, SEO is taking too long. I was like, I can do Google ads. I was like, yeah, I can do Facebook video, one by one, and you just need like one customer to learn. So I was fortunate to have him like as a guinea pig to experiment and do stuff. And the other angle I look at it is, do you want to be a freelance expert or do you want to be an agency owner? So I took the route of being an owner, having other team members actually do the execution. So you need to think of it. Do you want to be self-employed and do all the work yourself? Or do you want to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, and get other people to do the work with you? Right? So I chose to go the agency way, the entrepreneur way. Honestly, there's no right or wrong. Honestly, like it's totally your personality. Are you good at executions or are you good at putting teams together that can execute? One of these two. So I've always preferred to work with teams, and that's why being like a generalist, I can talk to any customer about any digital thing, any case study, uh, an example, strategy, whatever it is. That's what I'm naturally geared towards. But the actual execution, like if you tell me like go and set up an effective Facebook ad right now, I probably won't be able to do that.
Right.
I'll probably get confused on the image sizes or the copy or the bid prices or the landing page, something or the other. Right?
Right.
Whereas as a Facebook ads expert, if that was me, if that was only me, I would know how to set it up like perfectly. And I would be able to do that for hundreds of people. Right? So you need to kind of make this choice yourself. Like, do you prefer, keeping 100% of the profit? Do you prefer to do it yourself? Option number one. Option number two is understand it, learn the lingo, gain experience, and then work with other team members, work with other freelancers together where you can generate a bigger impact. Right? I don't know
Right.
if that made sense, but that's kind of like the way I looked at it.
Right, right. So I believe there is some myth about it. Like a lot of people think that, okay, I am not going to work. I'm going to hire some or the other person who is going to work for me. So how good is it to think this way?
I think it's very good to think this way. I think I think it's the right way to think about it because I don't feel I would have had enough growth unless I had a team, unless because think about it, like right now we're doing this podcast. It's an important podcast, but frankly, between you and me, I've got customers. I should be prioritizing them, right? But
Right,
I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that because I have a team who is prioritizing my customers, right?
right,
So that's the way I've always looked at it. uh, Find experts, work with experts, because I can bet that you might be really good at website development, but you might not be able to edit videos, or really well, or you might be able to do edit videos, but then you can't do Facebook ads really well, or you can't do sales very well. Something or the other is plus and minus. It's a plus and minus. So I think you need to find those complementing skill sets, again, depending on your goals. If you're happy making a lakh a month, you can totally do it yourself, 100%. 2 lakhs a month, you can do it yourself. If you're looking at doing 10 lakhs a month, 20 lakhs a month, 30 lakhs a month, then at some level you're just like, dude, I cannot do it. Like, I can't do it myself. So hire the right people. We live in the gig economy. There are people who will work for you just for a specific task. Hundreds of websites, Fiverr, Upwork, Elance. Uh, so find people who can do the work for you, free up as much time as you can, like try not to do anything yourself. Try to find someone who's better than you, someone who is cost effective, someone who you can depend on, someone who you can trust, to talk to clients, think long-term relationships, and you try and get out of the equation as quick as possible. Like be the person behind the scenes. If that's the route that you want to choose, then you can grow into that role as well. After you got the experience, you should be able to troubleshoot. You should be able to do like the entire job yourself. At least theoretically, you should have done the training, watch videos, seen case studies. But execution, you can definitely leave to others. Meaning, like, I know my best work is only done by others. Like I know my best videos, my best websites, um, my best ads. It's always done by others. It's never done by me.
all right, all right. I see that. Right. So here coming to the other question, it's like, what do you think? Like, I see that you have been to multiple uh, webinars, and also I feel that you must have been to the couple of other podcasts as well. So, what do you think? What is the best question you would have ever been asked?
What is the best question that I've ever been asked? I think that is the best question I've ever been asked. Come up with the question yourself. Um, I would think that the best question I was asked, I need to think about it. There's nothing coming like I never.
Or I could say, what do you think that anyone could ask you, and you think that this should be the question one should ask me?
That is an easier one. Thanks for framing it that way. If there was one question that you should ask me that I will be happy to answer is, when should I start my own business? And my answer is today.
Nice. Nice. That's something what is hard hitting, but that's truth, right? So here is like you mentioned that you are taking the projects from freelancing websites called Free Fiverr and Upwork, and those are not $5 gigs. You are taking the $50,000 work from there. So how is that possible? How's that happening?
Super, that's like a really good question. And just to kind of even answer that straight away, is when I got started on Fiverr, everything was $5. The maximum you could charge also was $5. There was no product that was $6 or $10 or $20 or $50. Everything was $5. That's why the name was Fiverr. Today, that's no longer true. Today, you can start with $5. Today, the least amount of money you can start with is $5, and then you can scale up to whatever, at least you can scale up to whatever you want to.
Hmm. Okay.
That being,
So,
that
mhm.
being, that being said, I would still be very happy to take projects at $5 simply because that's the cheapest way in the whole world to get a new customer. Imagine if I told you that I will give you a customer who needs your services. They're going to use you for 1 year. Just give me like $5. Like it's a no-brainer. That one
Right.
time, the first gig, it might not make you money, but every time after that, you build a relationship with them, then you offer them anything that you need to. It could be an in-depth gig, it could be so many different things.
Right.
So that's one. The second is on bid on. Is it quick jobs? Is it monthly jobs? Is it yearly jobs? So the conversation that I'm having right now, it's not yet a done deal, but the conversation I'm having with is a 5-year job. It's a 5-year project. So I think you can just be a little smart as to which projects you want to bid for. Start with anything that you get, and then figure out like what your niche is, and then let your niche find you.
Okay. Okay. So I strongly believe over here that there are a lot of people who are willing to join you and learn a lot from you in order to get this particular work done, like to get the traffic from the Fiverr and Upwork. So what is the best way people can connect with you?
So the best way people can connect with me is I do this thing every morning. It's between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. It's called the 7 a.m. Club, and it's only for freelancers. It's only for freelancers. And every single day, Monday through Friday, between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., we connect. And I conduct a quick training on a specific activity. Like today, we did Upwork. Another day, we could do Fiverr. Another day, we could do personal branding. Another day, like different examples. So every single day, there is a new example. Because I think the best way to learn is through example, like see it yourself. So that would be the best way to connect with me on an ongoing basis. Just to see if freelancing is your dream, then I would definitely connect at the 7 a.m. Club. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you feel like. You can just Google my name and you'll find
Perfect.
multiple ways to reach out.
Perfect. So are you wanting me to type your Instagram ID in the description so that people can jump in and get in touch with you there?
Yeah, sure.
Right, perfect.
Absolutely,
So
that
I'll
would be
I'll
it.
I'll, I'll take the Instagram ID of yours and I'll keep it in the description so that people can jump in, and from there they can jump in your bio and they can figure out what is the best way to connect with you. And that's how, because what I see, people who are watching over there right now, I would say people go connect with him, and you won't regret that because you are watching it on Rising Beings, where we have the people who are rising beings, and you understand what does it mean, right? So before we leave this episode, before we end it over here, what are the three tips you would like to give to the other people who can rise high?
So first, I'd like to say thanks to you. Thanks for reaching out. I think we connected on Instagram, and I think you did like is reach out to anyone. Like what's the worst that would happen? We would not have this meeting. So
Right.
definitely, you want to reach out to people, get out of the comfort zone. And the second is again, then just offer yourself the first service, do the first service to yourself. And the third tip would be is, put in the effort, wake up early, do the same stuff that's generating results, do more of it, do what's working, network with like-minded people, network with people who are in your space, find the right people, find the right mentors. And I think your journey can be a lot faster and smoother.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gaurav, for being an amazing guest over here and bombarding the valuable nuggets to the audience so that they can learn and busting their belief system, because that is something what is super important for all the beginners over here, right? That's the one goal that I have, to let people overcome their belief system in order to succeed further, right? So thank you so much for being an amazing guest.
Thank you so much. Great. Thank you for reaching out, like I said, and all the best to the rising stars. Cheers, guys. This has been Gaurav Gurbaxani.
Perfect.